What's the other thing they could do? What'd be another interesting thing they could do? Going back to Cosmo Canyon, a possibility. Get answers. Talk to Bugenhagen. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth edited a lot of how story elements and timing of things kind of work in the story of Final Fantasy VII. Like, I loved the new way that you get to the Temple of the Ancients. Like, that whole sequence, you could tell, like, for a while, my theory about the whole remake saga was that they're just injecting elements that they didn't have time to in the old game, or didn't have the technology to, which they've come out and said, and notes that they've had since they made the original game. Oh, it would have been cool if we could have done this. Oh, what if we could have done this? Oh man, what if we could have done this? The whole approach to the Temple of the Ancients was incredible. Like, incredible. Like, I still think about it and my mind is just blown. And the trials that each party member had to kind of face and look dead in the eye, kind of like a mirror into your soul there, that was so good. That was really well done. And the way they did that the clock area and how it was important and potent to every character was so good. Like, I loved what they did with that. And then we get to the ending, and now all of a sudden the tiny Bronco works. It's been repaired. They fly off in the tiny Bronco, which is different. That is different. So a lot of you all have asked me, Ray, where do you think the third game is going to start? There are a number of ways they could go. But before we get started, throw a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, hype it up. If you're watching on your phone, there's new hype features. Swipe and hype. Let people know about your boy, Uncle Ray. I got your back on all this content, so appreciate all the love and support you all are giving the channel. It means a lot to me. My goal is to hit 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. We'll see if it happens. I'm going to put the work in, but we'll see if it happens. If it doesn't, we'll just keep grinding anyway, right? But where will Final Fantasy VII Remake Game 3 start? Well, the first, there's a few different ways you can go here. The first way you could go that I've been thinking about, you just go to the Northern Crater. Like, you fly the tiny Bronco up toward the Northern Crater, you get some snowboarding in, you go to Icicle Inn, you do the whole trek into the Northern Crater, the Whirlwind Maze, all that kind of stuff. We know we're building toward the Whirlwind Maze. We know we're going to go there because Cloud has the vision of it, right? He has the vision of the Whirlwind Maze. So that is one way you can go. That's the obvious way though, right? We're going to play around with some non-obvious ways. One interesting idea is they go find Aerith's mother and let her know what happened to Aerith. Though they probably don't need to. And we don't know what they're going to do with her mom in Remake, because we know Marlene's with her mom. We know Marlene can kind of feel the Force, as it were, with the live stream. And we don't know yet what is going on with that. That's kind of like an unturned stone, if you will, with Marlene and her connection to the Ancients, or the power of the live stream, or whatever you want to say. We know that she's with her, and maybe they don't need to go. Maybe Aerith has already communicated with them. We don't know. But that's one thing they could do. Go there. More Shinra shenanigans ensue once they, whether Elmira's in Calm or in Midgar. I don't think you're going to go back to Midgar just yet. You will go back to Midgar in the third game, but maybe not just yet. Maybe you say, well, no, you can't do that. But anyway, when you go back to Midgar, it's going to be full battle, full go. I don't think they're going to stop it. I think Elmira will be out of the city by then anyway. My thinking is Elmira and Marlene will probably evacuate Midgar and go to Calm when Meteor is summoned. Like when there's a state of emergency, I think they'll evacuate Midgar and get out. That's never really explained in the old game either, like when that happens. I know books and things have kind of talked about it or whatever a little bit, but it's been hinted at. But we need to see that in the game. So that's one thing they could be doing. What's the other thing they could do? What would be another interesting thing they could do? Going back to Cosmo Canyon, a possibility. get answers. Talk to Bugenhagen. You know, this is what went down. This is what's going on. Aerith's dead. We don't have any answers. Could you show us? And then you go back to the Gi. Maybe you talk to the Gi about this black materia, you know, that you now have, you know. So that would be interesting to go back to Cosmo Canyon. That'd be a whole story beat. Like if you go back and talk to the Gi again. The Gi to me are interesting because that's a whole story beat from the old game that you don't have. Like you fought them and you got the legend of what happened with Sato and everything, but you don't really, you don't communicate with them. So that was, for me in Rebirth, that was one of the really, really cool things they added. And again, which lends itself to this is a remake, because that was an idea they had. Like, oh, would it be cool if we could have done this? Let's put it in the notes. Okay, we're remaking the game. That's going in. We're totally going to do that. You know, we're going to put that into the scenario. That's something cool they could do. What if, before you do all of that, you go to Wutai? What if you fly to Wutai? Yuffie's on the boat. You now have access via a working tiny Bronco. You could fly to Wutai. And you get a different experience there with Cloud as he is now, as opposed to Cloud, hell, he will be after his redemption. After his redemption arc, it will be way different with Cloud. The experience of the party will be way different there because he won't be as combative and bullish. You know, he'll be a leader, but he'll be more kind of open and not as direct or gruff or whatever he's going to be in part 3. We don't know how far his condition that he has right now is going to progress, like him being consumed with the black materia and under Sephiroth's influence. We don't know how far that will have progressed at the beginning of Remake Part 3. It will have progressed some, and he might just be a total jerk, just snapping at people. We don't know. But what we do know is he will be different when he comes out. So it will be interesting to get his experience in Wutai with the people of Wutai as a former soldier, quote unquote, soldier first class, being back in Wutai, with that gruff kind of nature about his personality, and coming back later after his redemption in the live stream and seeing him there then. So that's one thing they could do. That's where they could go. But the obvious thing is they just go to the Northern Crater. They just go to the Northern Crater and they continue through with the game as it should be. Now, it's going to be interesting when you get there, because how quickly do we escalate things? How quickly do we get to the Northern Crater battle? I think it's going to take a while. I've got a video dropping tomorrow about Cloud's, redemption and all that kind of stuff, and how long will we be without Cloud for the first third of the game. But I don't want to get too much into that right now. But one thing I will say is the first third of the game, a lot is going to happen. There's going to be a lot in that first third of the game. I wouldn't even say a half. I'd break it up into thirds, because you've got to discover Wutai, right? You've got to go to the Northern Crater. You've got to have the battle. I really think you're going to have a battle with Reunion Cloud. I'm calling him Reunion Cloud, because I think he's going to be this dark, menacing version of himself, and a boss battle with him would be gut-wrenching. And I've done a video on that in the past, and I'll try to link it here. If you had never seen it before, you can check that out, my theory on that. It's an old one. But you're going to have to go through that, then you're going to have to lose him, and then you have to go through with the party without Cloud, and then for a little while, and then you discover him in the deal. However that's going to work out in the remake. We know how it works in the old classic game, but how you discover he's there in remake is going to be way different. And then probably chasing a weapon or something like that. And then his redemption and all that, I think, will happen in the first third of the game. And the middle third of the game will be Cloud working through things with the party, going and fixing things up. I think you wrap up your stuff with the different party members in that middle third of the game. There will be other story elements introduced, and then the final third of the game, you go on end game stuff. So, but anyway, as far as like where the game is going to start, that's my thought. Those are my thoughts. What do you think, though? What are your thoughts? Put your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know what you think. You all posted some interesting stuff over the past few days. I've been reading through all the comments as I can, and responding to the ones that I feel the need to respond to or whatever. But yeah, you all are posting some good stuff. Keep it going. Keep it rolling. I love reading your all's thoughts and comments on this stuff. But until next time, you all have a great day. Be safe. Be good to each other. Keep rocking. And I will see you all in the next video. Take care.